Welcome back to AM Northwest. And now here to tell us how we can help empower leadership is motivational speaker and success coach, Kemy Joseph. Good to see you again.
Thank you again for having me.
I know you've been busy, so thanks for coming to see us. But talk to me about You Are Awesome.
So You Are Awesome is a nonprofit I started about 8 years ago. And the whole point is helping people to embrace their self-worth and their potential to do good in our world. And we've been doing incredible things over the last 8 years, but what we've been focusing on is how do we help people develop communication, collaboration, and creative problem-solving skills, which in our world is needed more.
We need that
more.
now.
Yeah,
we really need that
absolutely,
now.
Yeah.
And it's empowering leadership is part of what you talk about,
yeah,
right?
We've been looking at this idea of a leader as someone who not only is heading an organization, but makes sure that on their way to reaching goals, that they're uplifting everybody they're working with, that I help train you in whatever capacity, so you might even surpass me as your boss to make sure that we're both growing every single day.
So you're saying that can work in a business even though you're just an employee and someone else is above you?
Absolutely. If you're thinking about growth in companies, you have to be thinking about that. You know, we look at the opposite of empowering leadership as people who want to tightly control everything, right? So I won't give you opportunities to grow because I'd be scared that you would surpass me.
Right.
And
empowering, take my job.
Yeah, exactly. And then so we flip that idea on its head, saying that the stronger you are as an employee, as a supervisor, as a teacher, whatever it is, the stronger our organization will be. And you keep me on my toes, I keep you on your toes, and we grow together. And
then you have an acronym that you call AWESOME.
The AWESOME principles.
Yeah, so tell me about that.
So we're looking at leadership as very multifaceted, right? So we have A for authenticity, we have W for working for a higher purpose, E, engaging others, S is service, O is openness, M, motivating great action, and then E, eco-economics. We're basically looking at every facet of leadership, and we put them into these awesome principles.
So tell me about authenticity.
Authenticity is, we look at it at the very top, is how do we lead with integrity?
Right.
How do I understand who I am as an individual and allow myself to be who I need to be, and knowing that that's going to change with situations, but I know who I am, I know what I value, I know what my strengths are, what my challenges are, and then I can lead from that space, comfortable in my own skin. Because
you're doing what feels right for you.
Yeah, I'm following my passions, and then I'm more willing to let you follow your passions. I know that there's enough space for us both to be having a great life. You know, that's where I think authenticity is like a key.
Working for a higher purpose.
Yeah, it's like us getting, you know, even though we're talking about authenticity of me understanding myself, then I can kind of get myself out of the way and work for something, anything that's bigger than me, you know. So some people, it might be a cause that they're trying to change the world. Some people, it might just be their families, right? It's anything that inspires us to think outside of ourselves, to look at how we can contribute to other people's lives.
You know, I think about that when I think of the Max Train, the heroes that stood up. They thought outside themselves for something bigger, for something that was important to them.
Absolutely.
That was amazing. Engaging others.
Engaging others, that's a big one, especially nowadays. That one we look at a lot about how do we build trust with one another, right? We look at some of these big issues that you just talking about with the Max Train. How are we building relationships with people to understand what their needs are? And if we look at that rolling into service, it's me understanding who you are and where you're trying to go in your life. So that way when I provide you with a service, when I provide you with anything, it's helping you get there. You know, when I'm coming back from Africa, it's thinking about how many times we as Americans may start an initiative without talking to the folks on the other side as to what they need in their lives,
right?
So engaging others is thinking about like, how do we engage them?
You're trying to help, and you assume this is what they want without asking,
without building a rapport, without building trust, and then that means that our services are then not as effective. So they go hand in hand.
So, as in service, then, are you saying it's to do something?
To do something, to be of value.
Value, Right. Openness.
If we look at the idea of leaders who are not empowering as being those who control, you know, who like lead with a tight fist, openness is the idea, like, how do I leave more room to have new ideas, to kind of take paths that might be a little bit scary? How do I explore new ideas and new strategies, new people?
Just being open to those.
Being open.
Because sometimes we do think this is the only way we should do something, when in fact there may be a better way.
There most likely is a better way. And even if we try something, we say, okay, our way that we thought originally was better, then we also build more confidence in that way, right? So we either way, when we are staying open, we can find better options, better solutions.
You say motivating great action.
Yeah. So with that piece of engaging other people, it's also understanding what is great action. So for you, there's going to be different things that are great action. For me, it'll be different things. So understanding what would motivate you to, say, run a marathon, right? What would motivate you to climb Mount Everest?
That would be crazy.
Right? Yeah,
that would be my motivation.
Yeah, so thinking about what motivates the people that we work with.
Sure.
Because sometimes we as leaders, we kind of start bumping our heads. If they could just understand it, they could just get it. But instead of saying that, it's like, what am I missing?
Right.
As a leader, how can I understand you a little bit differently to understand what will motivate you to those next steps?
Because some people are motivated by their creativity, or by wanting to make sure their family's okay.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So it's all different motivations.
All different incentives.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ecoeconomics.
Ecoeconomics, that's balancing sustainability and success.
Oh, sure.
Right, because we know that, especially when we look at enterprises whose main idea is economic success, where they might pollute resources.
Right.
They might not be thinking about how to also be sustainable. On the flip side, some people are so sustainable they don't get economic success. Right? So it's like, how do we marry the two? They can go hand in hand.
Right.
And we're looking at that within our own organization. What are things that we can automate? What are services that we can stop duplicating? And we see that in our country as a whole. We see that even in states and local government. There's a lot of things that we might be duplicating, a lot of resources that we may not be using as effectively as we could. So it's really about balancing those two to make sure that we get what we need, as well as we can provide even greater for those who we're helping.
Absolutely. All great information, Kemy. Thank you very much. We're going to put more information on our website at ka2u.com.